That three-headed monster in the backfield.
Dog, could you imagine?
That would be dangerous. If he wants to come here for 1 year and show out so he can get a contract somewhere else, I don't know.
I say yeah. Just simply off of like, if we want Jared Goff to be his best, if we truly want to win and compete this year, like
that three-headed monster in the backfield.
Dog, could you imagine?
That would be dangerous. And this guy is special. He is still a difference maker.
Kareem Hunt sounds like he's done with the Browns. He requested a trade, but I guess it's because he wants to get the contract extended.
Yeah,
which makes sense. You know what I'm saying,
he's on the last year of his 2-year contract.
And running backs, a position you get banged up, you get beat up pretty good. Like I would definitely want to guarantee some money up before I head into the season. You know what I'm saying, you're already in a backup role. You've already Kareem Punt he became at one point. You know what I'm saying, so like I definitely understand like his gripe. But with that being said, is that something the Detroit Lions should be looking into?
I mean, it depends what's going on. If he wants to come here for 1 year and show out so he can get a contract somewhere else, I don't know. I don't know if you make the trade. I don't know if you give up the asset, because we've seen what Brad Holmes can do in the later rounds of these drafts. But if he's a guy that wants to come here, wants to re-sign for 2-3 years, I wouldn't mind it. We know he can be an explosive player. We know, yes, the injuries racked up a little bit last year, but his mileage has been way down because he had great years in Kansas City, and then he introduced that young woman to his boot. And then he was backing up Nick Chubb since he's been in Cleveland. So he hasn't been the featured back, so we don't have to worry about his tread wearing off too fast, because he hasn't seen a lot of the playing time as a featured back or a starting back. Wood hasn't been getting beat up in the trenches like that. And this guy is special. He is still a difference maker. Like, when he is in the game, when he is getting carries, he's a problem. He's alone. And he's tough for defenses to handle. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. I don't know if you'd give, because you'd have to give up what, like a 6th or 7th round pick to get him, something like that, something along those lines. So, and we saw what, a 6th round pick might be our starting linebacker this year. Yeah, we've seen what Brad Holmes has done with those late picks. So point. It's tough to give that up for a guy who's just going to be a rental for this year. But if you get him in and you re-sign him for 2-3 years, I wouldn't mind it. That's just another weapon to add to this offense.
Sus, can we make this a poll? Should the Detroit Lions trade for Kareem Hunt? Yeah. I'm very curious of the situation too, because like at first glance, I kind of almost want to say like, nah. You know what I'm saying, we're good. We have DeAndre Swift. Yeah. Jamal Williams, which he's not Kareem Hunt. And to be honest with you, like a Kareem Hunt, like in his prime, is like what we want DeAndre to be in his prime. Like you look at Kareem Hunt, his rookie year was a Pro Bowl. 1,200 yards he had in KC. Yeah. I'll never forget. I think his debut game was on Monday Night Football. I remember who they played, but I remember he was just tearing it up.
He was dogging them.
Dude, this guy's a rookie, and they had like Pat Mahomes. Like, there's no way. Like, they're supposed to like be this good already. Like, that's crazy. That being said, just knowing how Jared Goff is tailored and like where he's his best at is when he has a solid run game behind him. Todd Gurley, which we're discussing like later on today, is the best offense he's ever had. But you look at the statistically best offense he ever had was built around that run and play action. Yeah. Jared Goff heading into last year was the #1 ranked quarterback the last like 5 years or so like that in play action passing. We know that Swift, as talented as he is, health has been a concern of his. I say yeah. Just simply off of like, if we want Jared Goff to be his best, if we truly want to win and compete this year, like
that three-headed monster in the backfield.
Dog, could you imagine?
That would be dangerous.
Because as you said too, like Kareem doesn't have a lot of like tread on his tires. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I think I used that phrase wrong, but nonetheless, like he's still got some miles on him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He has a lot of tread on his tires.
He has a lot of tread on his tires. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Snips, you put your hand up real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say no, personally, but I feel like, one, I don't know what he's like in the locker room, especially. If you like what you have going on in the locker room right now, why would you throw him in there, especially with those kind of issues in the past that he's had? But I don't think he wants to play with where he's giving up a lot of those carries to Williams and Swift.
I agree.
So he's not going to be happy here. So that's why you don't trade for him.
I don't know. Because dude, he's in a backup role right now, and like he's had that issue.
But if you're going to like Detroit, you would want to start and be that guy.
I mean, he definitely would split carries between him and Swift.
100%.
And you have to expect that
100%
situation.
would split carries. Would probably be the second or third running back on the depth chart.
And let's be real about it. He isn't a guy that's like, give me my carries, give me my carries. Like, the only reason he wants to be traded right now isn't because of his carries. It's because he wants a new contract.
Yeah.
You know? But the other thing I want to say, too, to the character issue is, like, him having that punt situation, if he were any type of problem in the locker room, I guarantee he wouldn't be in the NFL.
He wouldn't. Yeah, and the character issue, the punt situation, like.
And if I'm not mistaken, she
yes,
him, yeah,
she
attacking him.
She dropped a hard R and attacked him. And so, like, if that's true, if that's actually what happened, you know, I don't condone anything like that, any kind of violence like that, but I don't know how that feels. I don't know, you know, being in a situation, being marginalized like that as a person. So we haven't heard anything bad about him in locker room since then.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything like that. Obviously, you know, Cleveland's got a
They've
whole
had
different
a lot
situation in their locker room. You know, they had like the head cases in that locker room, and they had OBJ, Kareem Hunt, Myles Garrett swinging helmets and doing like Baker. Yeah, it
Watson now.
Wild locker room. Yeah, Watson now.
Got to be real with you though. Got more playoff wins than Detroit Lions in the past 3 years.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it's choir boys don't win in football. Choir boys do not win in football. You need a couple assholes on your team.
100%. You got to be mean. I don't remember the exact situation with the kick and how it went down, but I remember he came back to the league for a reason because it was like a defendable act, I guess you'd say. But I mean, I guess it comes down to, like, what are you willing to give up? And if it's a 7th round pick, if I can grab him for a 7th round pick and maybe sign him to a 2-year deal, like, dude, why not?
Agree. Abe, DFS Docket again. Abe, thanks for joining the chat.
Shout out.
Don't look earlier in the show where I admitted to doing something for the Illich family, but it wasn't a mission of guilt. It was a joke. But Abe says that Hunt wants to go to Atlanta, and that is a place where he would be the featured back if he went to Atlanta. I agree. I don't see him wanting to come to Detroit, a rebuilding team, and be in a 3-back rotation.
I don't think he would be happy unless he got that money.
Then
money, that's a whole different scenario. But like other teams, I like off the top of my head, Bills, Rams, Cardinals, those are all contenders that he could, you know, not be taking like every carry, but he would. He
could start over James Conner.
Correct.
He could start over, you know, Devin Singletary.
And Akers has a, you know, injury
Who knows
issue
what's
and
going on with
everything.
Akers?
So could, you know, those are big roles where they might be willing to pay you as well. So that I just don't feel like that fit is here in Detroit for him and us.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough. I mean, obviously, you'd like to see that type of talent. This backfield will be absolutely disgusting if we added that type of talent. It's already very good. So I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think he would want to do it. And again, if he came to Detroit, would he re-sign? If not, you're giving up an asset that Brad Holmes has shown he can use to get talent.
Well, Abe said he wants to go to Atlanta?
Yeah.
If he wants to go to Atlanta, he'll definitely tolerate coming to Detroit. Atlanta's
but he'd be the featured back in Atlanta.
I don't think that's a concern of his, though.
I think he wants to, this year, go to a team, be the featured back, show out, get paid a fat contract.